My name is Alex Duta, and I grew and scaled a restoration company from my dad's garage to over 8 figures, and now I'm on a mission to help you grow and scale yours. In today's episode of Albie After Hours, we're going to talk about why restoration contractors hate software. In today's episode, I want to kind of talk about the difference between software and some other concepts that we need to talk about. And we really want to dive into why there's such a big hesitancy within the restoration industry on adopting and implementing technology. And to understand so, I think we should take a step back and understand how a software company works and the reasoning and the motives of software companies and why they are software companies. And you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about in just a minute. So a typical software company, they'll spend years or maybe months to a year developing a product and probably even millions of dollars to get to an MVP product that then they go out and they license that product to restorers, for example. And the problem is, obviously, restorers would probably license that product for $200 a month and they have $1 million investment. So they're going to try to sell and bring people on board so that way they can recoup the money that they are actually burning, right? And the other nice part about software is certain software companies tend to have a lean mentality to where they don't really invest in advanced things. They'll set up a knowledge base with how-to articles on how to use the software. They'll set up a little chat box and one support person and then call it a day. Now that is great for software companies because obviously in order to recoup your investment and test out the market, you want to keep your overhead as low as possible, right? Now the problem is it doesn't work for restoration, and that is why restoration companies don't really implement software as they should. Let's take a look at another industry real quick before we dive in. Let's take a look at the coding industry, the coding world, right? The people that sit behind the computer, and what they do is they utilize different pieces of software like, I don't know, Microsoft Visual Studio to code, right? These guys are very techie people that are very tech literate. And they're perfectly fine with going to a website and submitting a support ticket and waiting a week for a response because they're not under pressure. They can do their job. They typically have 2 to 3 weeks to meet deadlines and so on and so forth. They're also pretty shy people, so they don't really like picking up the phone and calling people and so on and so forth. So for a software company that's selling to a tech company, it makes sense for that software company to say, okay, we're not going to invest in certain things. We'll just put up a knowledge base, submit a ticket, and call it a day. Now, in retrospect, for a damage restoration company, software just doesn't work. A restorer is always put under pressure and has to respond to certain losses within a certain amount of time. And when things don't work, they need it then. And on retrospect, contractors as a whole are not as tech savvy as developers would be. So they need somebody to actually hold their hand and walk them through step by step. And they need a full support team that they can call, they can text, they can email. Heck, sometimes they might even need to send smoke signals. And that's where the concept of restorers not needing software comes from. I think if we look at the restoration industry, you have software companies and then you have a technology partner. And the evident technology partner is Albie. And when you talk about a technology partner, it's more than just a software company. A technology partner, first of all, is a restorer who understands the problems of restorers and applies technology and paves the way to how technology should be implemented to solve certain problems. The second step to that is a technology partner holds the hand of the restorer via one-on-one training sessions and so on and so forth, and actually teaches that restorer how to implement the technology for their success. There's no, hey, check out this knowledge base, read this article, and so on and so forth. A technology partner also consults the restorer on how to build out their ecosystem and provides best practices for the restorer as opposed to just a platform that restorer is renting. And then lastly, a technology partner offers a growth network. That growth network allows the restorer to grow and has certain people that the restorer can come to when they have real-life questions with real-life answers. So now I challenge you to go back through your technology stack, whether it's, whether you're using QuickBooks or whether you're using Microsoft and so on and so forth, and ask yourself, how many of these pieces of software that I'm using are technology partners and which ones are actually just software companies? And what you'll find is, as a restorer, a lot of the pains that you're going to be facing are those of software companies. And in reality, what you really need as a restorer is to look for that technology partner. I hope this episode helped you open up your mind on technology within the restoration space as a whole. I would love to hear your feedback. You can give us a like, a comment, or subscribe to our channel below, and we will definitely come out with more videos on different trends within the restoration industry. Talk to you guys soon. Ah! What happened to all my facial hair? Yeah, I guess fatherhood's hitting me a little bit, so I'm trying to become a dad.